Today's agenda is SnowPipe. Okay, this is one of the most, popular service from the DB side, cloud database side. So if you heard about these tools, Kafka, NiFi, AWS Kinesis, Firehose, all these tools aims at streaming. Uh, Spark, Apache Spark, structured streaming is there. So all these are streaming tools. So SnowPipe is kind of like near real-time data streaming. So you can see here SnowPipe enables loading data from files as soon as they are available in stage. This means you can load data from files in micro batches, making it available to users within minutes. So if there is any real-time data streaming use cases, like let's say you have some dashboard and you want to update the data in dashboards in real time, then you can use the SnowPipe service. Let's see how the SnowPipe works. SnowPipe loads data from files as soon as they are available in stage. Stage could be internal or external. The data is loaded according to the copy statement defined in the reference pipe. Okay, how we are manually running the copy command? So we are uploading the files into S3, and again we are running the copy command. Once you ran the copy command, what will happen? The data will be copied into Snowflake table, right? So the same way, what will happen is, instead of you manually running the copy command, SnowPipe will run the copy command for you. It is just like, pipe, there will be one line. After that one line, you have this code. So what SnowPipe will do is, as soon as any files lands in S3 bucket, it will automatically run the copy command for you. So one important thing to note here is, earlier for data loading, we used virtual warehouse, right? We used virtual warehouses to load the data, to query the data, to download the data. We used virtual warehouse. Whereas SnowPipe, it won't uses virtual warehouse. It just uses the serverless compute model. Okay. With SnowPipe serverless compute model, user can initiate any size load without managing a virtual warehouse. Instead, Snowflake provides and manages the compute resource, automatically growing or shrinking capacity based upon the current SnowPipe load. Okay. So this is like a serverless compute model. That means, so one disadvantage with virtual warehouse is, there is always a chance that you will over provision the warehouse. Sometimes you will under provision the warehouse. What is over provisioning? Suppose you are loading 1 GB of data. For that, maybe extra small is enough. And if you configure the small, that is over provisioning. So what are the disadvantage of over provisioning? Your computer you will pay high, but you are not using 100%. What is under provisioning? Under provision is like, let's say you want to load big data, but you configure the small virtual warehouse so that your data processing takes like lot of time. But with SnowPipe, you can be rest assured, because Snowflake will assign the correct computing capacity. Let's say you want to load 1 terabyte of data. For that 1 terabyte of data, they will assign the how much our computing resource is required to process the data. They will assign that particular computing resource. So you no need to worry about configuring the size of warehouse, because it uses serverless compute model. So this is the architecture. So we have to configure the notification between S3 bucket and SnowPipe service. So as soon as the data lands in S3 bucket, okay. So let's say you, from some system, if you copy the data into S3 bucket, okay. S3 will send a notification. We have to configure the notification. Once SnowPipe service receives this notification, what it will do? It will run the copy command. It will simply run the copy command, so that the data will be automatically copied into the Snowflake database via SnowPipe service. Okay, so that's the architecture. So what a few direct benefits of using SnowPipe is instant insights. That means no need to manually run it immediately. Like, as soon as the data arrives in S3 bucket, the data will be copied. Easy to use. No need to write any 1,000 lines of program. Something we'll do in Kafka and Spark streaming. Without any programming and all, we can achieve near real-time data streaming in SnowPipe. Zero management, no need to worry about virtual warehouses and all. Snowflake will manage it for us. So again, we have this APIs available. If you want to use API, we can leverage that. But most of the companies, what they're doing, 99%, they'll configure that notification channel and they'll copy the data. Yeah, in the last class, at the beginning, we have seen how to configure the stage object. This is what we have seen, right? If you remembered AWS key ID and secret key, I downloaded username and password. I created this stage, and after that, I created the file format, copy command. Then the file, this stage, it will initiate the connection between Snowflake and all. File format is to read the data, copy command is to copy the data. Using this, configuring all this, we moved the data from S3 to Snowflake, right? We have seen this approach stage object, but in this class, what we'll do is we will understand what is this integration object, advantage of integration object, and how to configure the integration object. So this is not related to SnowPipe and all such. I just provided intro to SnowPipe. Guys, the use case of SnowPipe is very simple. So if the dashboards are there, so when the dashboards will get refreshed, whenever you have new data in your database, then your data inside dashboards will get refreshed, right? So using SnowPipe, the real-time use cases, like let's say you are working for maybe Uber, okay, and you are working for Uber and you want to, uh, if your manager asks you a simple question, how many rides completed from morning between 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., then what is the answer? So if there is no streaming and all, you need to wait for one day, because I will collect the data from a server today. I will load into database tomorrow manually. But using SnowPipe, like let's say as soon as the customer books the ride, that will go to the database. Okay, that will go to S3. From S3 it will go to database. We are streaming the data. That is the difference between batch jobs and streaming jobs. Streaming means instantly within, like, real time, in the sense you will get, like, suppose if I send you a message on WhatsApp, you will get it like in less than 2 milliseconds, right? That is real time. What is near real time is maybe it takes like sometimes 30 seconds or 1 minute, 2 minutes. Okay, SnowPipe is for near real time, not real time, near real time. Anyway, like, let's see how to configure this integration object. So in order to create an integration object, we need to configure few things. The first one is we need to create a S3 bucket. Then we need to create a policy for that bucket. Then we need to create a role. Then finally, we need to create an integration object. Okay, so what is this integration object is? Integration object doesn't require any username or password. Okay, last time I downloaded my credentials from in AWS side. I created one user. Then, if you remember, like, then we generated one user. We got credentials. Using that credentials, we created a external stage, right? I think it should be somewhere here. This is what I'm talking about, right? I created, using this key ID and password secret key, I created this stage. Now what we'll do is, without using these credentials, we have to create an integration object. We'll create a stage. So one advantage of integration is definitely we don't require username and password. Why it is an advantage? Because in each and every company, there is a concept called password rotation policy, right? Suppose your Windows password is expiring, right? Then you need to change every 90 days or 60 days, depends upon your organization password rotation policy. You need to change your password. AWS side also, as these credentials are being generated from AWS side, in AWS also we have the password rotation policy. Then what will happen if your password got expired? Your stage will become invalid in Snowflake, right? Because those credentials won't work. So that's why integration object, it won't require any credentials. So this is first advantage. Second advantage is, in the backend it uses AWS private link or Azure private link. So what is this AWS private link? AWS private link establish private connectivity between virtual private clouds and a service hosted on AWS or on premises without exposing data to internet. So see, definitely, even if you use stage or not, if you use stage or integration object, in the both the cases data is encrypted. Okay, but integration object, it is more secured because it uses Amazon private network to transport the data or move the data. Same like VPN concept, so your data is won't exposed to the internet. It uses AWS private network behind the scenes so that the third party or like whoever from the outsiders cannot access or interpret the information. It is more secure. So, and this is like most widely used approach to connect Snowflake to AWS. So we need to create a one bucket, but if you see, I have already have so many buckets. So what I'll do is I'll use the existing bucket. Okay, this bucket is there. Let me delete all the files. Just I'm using the existing bucket. In your case, you need to create a new bucket. See, what I'll do is I'll simply use this bucket. Okay, upload. This is the bucket URL. So I created a bucket. So I'm just for my reference, I'm putting out over here S3. Then the second thing is I need to create a policy. So what is policy is, let's say, because now we are giving access to the Snowflake to our AWS account, right? Snowflake is a different company, AWS is a different company. I'm allowing the Snowflake company to access all the data which is in my S3 bucket. Okay, so you can see literally I have so many buckets. Okay, definitely Snowflake, they don't misuse our info and all because we have the service level agreement with them and all. But no company will expose all their buckets, right, to the other different vendor. Suppose Microsoft is using Snowflake, will they expose like all their customer details, all the buckets and all? No, right? Whatever the bucket is required, we'll expose that bucket to the third party. So now the Snowflake is a third party for us. In this case, what is the bucket we are exposing? I don't want to give access to the Snowflake for all these buckets. I want to give access to only to this bucket, SnowPipe AWS. Okay. So I created this. Now the next step is to create a policies. In order to create a policy, I'll duplicate this tab. We have to go to this service called IAM. IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. So the second step is to create a policy. In order to create a policy, just click on here. Okay. These all are existing policies. Let's create a new policy. Then see, there is two ways of creating a policy. One is you can copy paste your JSON script or you can use the visual editor. So I'll give you one example of the visual editor, but I'll copy paste the script. I already have that script. See, um, there are around 285 services on S3. So to Snowflake, I don't provide access to all the services. So I'm giving access to S3 bucket. So in order to write the data, because if you're downloading the data from Snowflake to AWS, what will happen? Snowflake will write the information to AWS, right? Then I need to give the right permission to that. That is called put object. Put object. See, just click on this question mark. You will see grant permission to add an object to a bucket. What is object? Files are called objects. So from Snowflake side, I'm downloading any files from Snowflake to AWS, then I have to give them it permission. And then read. Read is like the copy command should read the data, right? Then there is another thing called put object. Sorry, get object and put object. Two things we need to give. Okay, get object also. So if I'm selecting here, what will happen is, okay, the next step is to resource. Resource is nothing but base, All the resources are specific resource. Specific resource, click on add ARN. ARN stands for Amazon resource name. Just click on list ARNs manually. Then come to here properties, and here you see the ARN for this bucket. Copy this ARN, come back, come here, just manually paste it. Click on add. Okay. Now if I click on JSON script, you see it is automatically created the script for me, right? See, I have this policy. So I gave that put object, get object version, delete object, all this. So I'll copy paste the script over here. Okay. Now I need to change the bucket name. What is my bucket name? SnowPipe AWS. So I'll come here and I'll change this bucket name to that respective bucket. Click on next tags, next review. You need to give this policy name SnowPipe policy. Okay, you can see out of 298 services on Amazon, I'm allowing Snowflake to access only one service, that is S3, and in S3 also one particular bucket, and in that particular bucket I have provided list permission, read permission, and write permission, create a policy finally. So one thing to note, right? See these steps, this step, you no need to worry about. All the steps you don't create in real time, because all these steps will be created from AWS admin side, not Snowflake. Because creating a policy, editing a policy and all, that means I'm giving a privileges. So in your organization, will they allow like permissions on a Outlook to everyone, like database to that? No, right? I mean to say there is some confidential data. So all the your maybe Skype chats or team chats are saving into one server. Will your company provide access to you? No, right? So same way, these buckets are all confidential because we have the confidential data over here. So all these steps will be created till here. All these steps will be created by AWS admin. So you no need to worry about that. Trust me, you don't get chance to do all these things. Only AWS admin will do. Integration object only account admin can do from Snowflake side. If you have account admin, surely for sure no company will give. If it is a big company, maybe small startups will give you that access. But anyhow, integration object, Snowflake admin will create that. Third step is to create a role. So for creating roles, just click on the roles, click on create role, click on another AWS account, and it will ask for account ID. Just select this account ID and require external ID. In the place of external ID, just give any of the number for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like whatever the numbers you want to give. Okay. We have to change this later, but what we have to give is we have to give the Snowflake AWS account details and all, which we don't have access currently. So that's why I'm giving some dummy number. Then policy, this role. See, in real time we have the roles, right? Analyst role, developer role, like so policies is nothing but we are defining, like what permissions that we are defining permissions. Policy creation is nothing but we are defining permissions. What is this role? I will attach that permissions to this role. That means if any analyst is joined, simply again I don't configure all the policies and all. I will assign him the analyst role. See, that's the reason like I'm creating the role here. Okay. To this role, I'll attach the policy. So what is the policy I created? Snowpipe underscore policy 1, right? Just search for that policy. See, I got that. Just click on select that policy. Okay, I'm in wrong screen actually. Yeah, here I need to search for the policy. Let me select this. Click on next tags, review. I need to give the role. Snowpipe, some dummy name I'm giving. Click on create role. So I created this role. Just click on this. Now I can see the tabs. Yeah. So see, I created a bucket, I created a policy, I created a role. Okay. Again, all this you don't create it in real time. All this will be taken care. So no need to worry about all these 4 steps. But if you know the concept, as we are working on our personal S3 accounts, personal AWS accounts, that's the reason I'm doing this from my end. Okay. So the role also got created and the role name is SnowPipe role 3. So I'll just write it down here for my future reference. So now I need to create the integration object. Now the last step is to create an integration object. Okay. Integration object also, we need account admin privileges to create that. With normal roles, we can't do that. That's the reason in real time you don't get account admin, right? So that's the reason like you don't need to worry about all these things. So create integration and let's name it like AWS integration. Okay. Type is equal to external stage. Then a storage provider is equal to S3. Enabled is equal to true. I'll come to this. What is enabled is equal to true? I'll come to this. Storage AWS role ARN. Okay. Storage AWS role ARN. I'll go to the role. This is the role, and this is the role ARN. Okay, I'll copy this role ARN. Finally, then storage allowed location. If you want to allow multiple locations, then just give multiple S3 buckets in this form. So let me create the integration object. Spelling mistake. Okay, so I'm missing this keyword called storage integration. Integration object is successful. So describe integration okay, then I'll get the properties of this. Then all these are the properties of Snowflake AWS account. So see, this is what they're sharing. So let me copy this one. Then again I'll come to the role. In the role, go to the trust relationship and click on edit trust relationship. So here change this to this one. And again I'll go back to Snowflake. I'll copy this storage AWS external ID. External storage ID. So this is the dummy number we have given. Just replace it. Click on update trust policy. Okay. Then again, if I come back to Snowflake, integration object should be successful. Now I need to create a stage. So create stage, stage name. Let's say SnowPipe demo. Okay. Then see, earlier we used the username and password. Now I don't use my username and password. What I'll do, I'll use this integration object now. Okay, then URL again. URL is equal to same URL. Let's create this. So I need to select a database and also let's create in the demo. So just to see like if we are getting any error here, that means I would have missed some step. Let's see if this is successful or failed. Yeah, this is successful. I'm seeing 0 rows because we don't have any files in S3 bucket. Okay, so here you can you see? So see, if you joined any project, if you don't have account admin, simply they will give you this name. Using this name, you need to create a stage. Okay, so what is this enabled is equal to true is all these are self-explanatory, but coming to this enabled is equal to true. Now I created a stage using this integration object, right? When this is marked as enabled true, I can create as many stages I want. So SnowPipe demo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what will happen is if I make it false, you cannot create a new stages using this integration object. Okay, so I'll stop here.